I feel like a little bit of a fish out of water here. I can't find my sunglasses. And it's hot in this car. It's very hot in here. Switch to the summer hat. There. Yeah, I used to be really, really bad for leaving my sunglasses at restaurants or just in places at my butt, to be honest. And I've been really good with my glasses, but cannot find my sunglasses. Maybe they're in the house. I'm going to have to look. Either way, it's not the end of the world. Happy today. I trained Enzo Aguayo. Here's a horse we thought broke down last week. Just ended up there was some surface infection in his leg, and it kind of pooled in a weird place that made it look like a suspensory, to the point where I was certain it wasn't until the leg cleaned right out, and then Dr. Latessa said, just let me look at that leg, and it was fine. He was rather lame the next day after he raced, and then he was better, and he was sound. Today's Tuesday, sound maybe last Tuesday or Wednesday on it. We had ultrasounded it on the day after and found out it was fine. Jogged him every day since. What is this person doing? Jogged him every day since. What are you doing? Jogged him every day since, and he was fine. So jogged him Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Did not jog him Monday, yesterday. But of course, I was going away tomorrow. I wanted to train him a little bit, so we were kind of easy with him today. But I did go out and train him a mile and 25. The horse was perfect. So really lucked out. It's not like he's a great horse, but he's certainly not a bad horse, and has been a handy horse, a very useful horse. And aside from all of that, certainly don't want to see a horse injured. And to see this horse, go from what appeared to be an almost certain injury, not career-ending, but definitely he would have needed quite a bit of time off, to now finding out that he's fine is, in a sense, its own Christmas present. So very lucky, feeling very lucky in that regard. Went with some of the babies that were acting up today. They were very good, so happy to see them bounce back well. The Foxies and Foxy Seaside, and I went with Grand Slam Dio. I thought she was much, much better. Really happy with her. What's wrong, honey? Yeah, I know, but we're gonna be home soon. Car wash first, you think? Think we should get a car wash first?
Yeah.
All right.
How about home first?
How about home first? Why?
Because then we'll go have car wash.
No, I probably should wash this because I think we're going to take the other car. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
No, take the truck.
Take the truck.
Car first.
Okay, we will. So, happy with the way things went today. Now, I want to talk about last night. I had a number of emails and a long, profanity-laced message from my brother James. He was, for those of you who either were in attendance last night or were smart enough, apparently, to look at the AGCO reports, there was a bit of a verbal altercation with one James McDonald and the commission veterinarian last night. So I'm going to give you the entire Coles notes of what took place and tell you exactly who was at fault and elaborate best I can. So when you see Resolute Bay post-parade, he's always been a little rickety going, right? That's just the way he is. He's always been like that. But in fairness, there has been times where his knees have bothered him, his feet are bothering him. But this is not one of those times. They aren't bothering him right now. Not from what I was told before, about, during, and certainly after the race. So usually in this case, you'll see it now. The veterinarian's job obviously is to protect the horses and the betting public, but definitely the horses first and foremost. So at every track, there's a veterinarian there, and his or her job is to watch all the horses warm up, make notes, maybe open a dialogue with the trainer or driver in case, and say, hey, this horse looked a little off. What's your thoughts on that? You can say, hey, horse got a little splint that's bothering him, or he had a bruise in his foot, or that's just the way he goes. It can stem from a lot of those. Ultimately, it's up to the veterinarian to make the decision on whether the horse should race. Now, given the fact that Resolute Bay had been racing, I would suspect that she came up and said to James or somebody before the race, hey, is this horse all right? Apparently that didn't happen. Not a word about the warm-up. Not a word about the race. James post-parades the horse. He's getting ready to go to the gate. And this is where the entire thing unravels. He's getting ready to go to the gate, and the starter says, James, the veterinarian wants to see the horse score down. Now, hold the phone. You can't just score a horse down declare a veterinarian to check a box on the veterinarian sheet so that she's happy. At that point, the horse should have already been scored down, relaxing and getting ready to race, or should have been scratched. One or the other. You don't ask somebody to score a horse down before the race. That's one, you're now putting the horse in a position where the horse is wound up. He's now exercised quite a bit right before you're going to ask him to do a workout, a race, at the best of his ability, nonetheless, at that time. That's not how you do it. And I know that there's certain people that watch these videos and maybe they'll see this one and they won't. I'm going to make it very clear, as somebody who's been in the industry a very long time, and I don't need to be a veterinarian, but I can tell you how it's supposed to go. As a driver, the veterinarian should come over, talk to the trainer or the warm-up person. I've had this happen before. Lots of our horses, from time to time, the veterinarian will come over and say, hey, whoever, warm the horse up, the caretaker, the trainer, or the driver, or all of the above. Say, hey, do me a favor when you go out there, score this horse down. I want to get a look at this horse and make sure everything's okay. That's generally how it goes. That's if they're giving you the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes they'll scratch the horse, which is even more frustrating without the dialogue. So you would come up and say, score the horse down. James would go on the track, go to the top of the stretch, score the horse down. Now the vet would say, yeah, not bad. Okay, fine. Or, I don't like what I'm seeing. You're going to have to bring that horse off. Those are the two paths that you would take at this point. You absolutely do not, under any circumstances, tell a driver to score the horse down before it goes to the gate. It's unfair to the betting public. It's unfair to the horse. It's unfair to the owners. It's unfair to everybody involved. And quite frankly, it's just wrong. And I don't really care what the veterinarian thinks. That particular veterinarian in that case was wrong. I'm not saying that the horse was 100%. I wasn't there. But clearly the horse passed her eye test at that point because the horse went to the gate. That eye test should have been administered 7 to 8 minutes before that. So at that point, that particular veterinarian at this point is now 100% wrong. You don't do it. It's wrong timing. Nevertheless, it happened. Scored the horse down, went to the gate. Horse looked fine to me, cleared to the front, come out of the last turn. Now, if you go back and look at his lines, this isn't the first time this horse made a break there. He does it when his feet are hurting him or when his knees are hurting him, which, by all accounts, James said the horse was good last night. Nellie said the horse was good all week. Harry said the horse was good. And the veterinarian let the horse race, so clearly she thought he was all right also. The other time that he'll do that is when he's tired. Well, you just asked him to score him down right before you went to the gate. Now he gets to the head of lane, he gets pacey, he gets tired, and he runs. So now at this point, I don't know any of this has happened at this point. I have no idea any of this has happened. So I'm like, Christ almighty. You know, I send a message to Harry, what's up with the horse? I send a message to James, what's up with the horse? I get this rant back from James. So apparently what happened was James had come off the track. The veterinarian wanted to put the horse on the list. And James, rather than just saying, I don't agree with your decision and calling the judges, James boiled over. I don't know where he gets it from. I'm pretty usually level-headed. I would never do such a thing. James boils over and probably has some choice words for the veterinarian that probably should have not been said. That probably should have not been said. So, hold on. What's wrong? No, I don't want to move up, honey. I'm waiting to do my video, and then I'm going to move up, okay? So, now James has said maybe some things he shouldn't have said to the vet in a heated exchange, which doesn't need to happen. It's like a manager going out to yell at the umpire. Your best case scenario, you get it off your chest and there's no harm done. Worst case scenario, you get thrown out of the game and fined. Which he's going to do. He's going to get fined. Some of our clients had messaged me that were in attendance last night. Some of our clients had messaged me that had seen maybe the report on the AGCO site. At the end of the day, cooler heads could have prevailed. One, you don't ask somebody to score a horse down right before the race. At that point, you've already made your decision. You've seen the horse jog around. You maybe asked James to score the horse down at the start of the post parade, not at the back. So first off, the vet was in the wrong. 100%. And I don't care what anybody says. The AGCO can message me and say, well, this is protocol. Then your protocol is wrong because you cannot ask somebody to score a horse down right before the race. You're hurting the horse to begin with. You can't expect the horse to score down and then say, all right, now after you've gone a quarter of a mile with the horse at racing speed potentially, or at least hard training speed, now go to the gate and race against 8 to 9 to 10 other horses that have not. It's just not fair to the horse. Secondly, putting the horse on the list makes no sense. You didn't go and examine the horse afterwards. You saw the horse make a break, and you decided that the horse should be on the list, which is, again, not really how things are supposed to work, right? You're supposed to go examine the horse, say, I don't like what I saw that horse. He just looked a little sore. I'm going to put him on the list. That's your option. But again, that wasn't done, right? The horse just was on the list. That was after. Now the horse ends up on the list after James confronts the veterinarian. He shouldn't have done that. It's not professional. There's a number of ways you could have went about this. You could have voiced your opinion, come off and said, I think you made a mistake. I think the reason the horse run is because you made me score the horse down. You can voice your opinion. And you can call the judges and tell them the same thing. There's no need for an altercation. It's a no-win situation for everybody. You can yell and scream in the driver's room or the bathroom, or just bite your tongue or bite your lip or vent. But you can't.
I'll bite your nose.
Bite your nose? That's hard to do. So it's just one of those things where I think everybody probably wishes they had just taken a deep breath. And the problem I have, and I'm not necessarily blaming the veterinarian. What the veterinarian did at the start was wrong, but it still didn't predicate what took place later. You know, James has got to bite his tongue, right? So, and I'm sure he feels bad about it also. And maybe I played a role because I ridiculed him after the race. No, he didn't see this text until after, so I did not play a role. Anyway, Resolute Bay is fine from what I've been told. Dr. McKee, who's always sharp and on her toes, sent me a message that I read between the lines. I saw the AGCO report and I see the horse on the list. Is Resolute Bay okay? You know, what do you want to do? So he's going to go over and see Dr. McKee. If this continues where the vet is now looking at the horse every week and believes in her head there's something wrong with the horse, I'll just simply take the horse to Pennsylvania, and that'll be that. And that's not fair to Harry. It's not fair to Nellie. It's not fair to anybody. Certainly not fair to Mohawk. But this climate, you really can't blame the vet, right? I may disagree with her methods. I may disagree with her outcome. But at the end of the day, her job is to make sure horses don't break down and get hurt on the track. That's it. So if I disagree with her outcome on this horse and she plants her feet in the ground and decides that this is not what she likes to see on the track, no problem. You'll never see him again at the track because I'll just take him to Pennsylvania. And I don't want to do that. You know, and I don't have a horse to replace him for Harry right now. The only way that I would actually execute that... Yeah, I know. I see it, sweetheart. The only way that I would execute that is if, one, I had a horse to replace Resolute Bay right now, which I kind of do but kind of don't. And two, if she forced my hand, which she has not done. Which they have not done yet. So that was what went on last night. I don't believe it was a wonderful scene top to bottom. The end of the day for us, Resolute Bay made a break. And hopefully we can rectify that in the near future. So that's where we are with Resolute Bay and the entire scenario from last night. That is my take on it, sprinkled in with information that I got from James, Harry, Nellie. So again, kind of third person, but I kind of know what went on. I've been in this situation a number of times at a number of facilities with a number of horses, and I can just tell you right now that one, it's a lose-lose fight because the veterinarian is there to make sure the horses don't get hurt, and that's that. Secondly, there needs to be a little bit better protocol in place. You can't ask somebody to score down right before they go to the gate. And thirdly, you may disagree with the veterinarian, but you got to bite your tongue. So that's my take on it, top to bottom. But I've been in everybody's place there, right? I've had lengthy conversations with the veterinarian about some of our horses that were racing. You may say, well, if they're lame, they shouldn't go. It's not always that, right? When you have a horse, can't think of the horse right now. Terrible gait. Stay close. Do you know how many times that they've called to stay close? Said, oh, that horse looks terrible. That's his gait. This is how he is. You can go over him top to bottom with an x-ray or fluoroscope and an ultrasound if you want. You're going to find nothing wrong because that is his gait. So that has to be taken into account too. The history of the horse, everything has to be taken into account. So again, I think a lot of shortcomings last night. Maybe tempers get heated and they shouldn't be, and hopefully we can work past it, right? All gas, no brakes. Made a break last night. Not really anything conclusive found with him. I told Dominic that maybe it's a maintenance or shoeing issue because when I look, he's only had 2 bad races for us. And the other one was, well, he had that one race where he was sick. He got to pitch that out. He was just sick. He didn't run. But his 2 breaks we're almost 4 weeks apart. Well, you get horses shot every 4 weeks, and if there was some maintenance done after the horse made his first break, maybe we should be on the lookout for that a little bit more. And it could have just been that he does not like a deep track, and the track was deep last night. James told me the track was terrible. So again, I can't read too much into that. The takeaway from all gas, no brakes, I don't know why he made a break. There doesn't appear to be anything wrong with him. There was nothing under scope. There doesn't appear to be any lameness, but we will have the veterinarian just take a little peek to make sure. But Dominic just thought it was just the track was deep, and he does have open-toed shoes. I'm not really in a rush to say, geez, and Dominic has never said, can we change them? But he did make reference to it. He has those open-toed shoes on a deep track. It's really hard to get a hold of the track. He's 100% right. But at the same token, this is also a horse that's been rather bionic for the most part in his right class for us. So I'm not going to read too much into that. Locatelli, I thought, raced good. Randy, one of my partners, said, is there some sort of rule that says he has to get away near the back every week? No, but I think Chris Christopher's driven him twice now. Last week he was really mired in traffic. Last night he was closing hard at the wire. And I do believe he probably was lapped on that horse, but I only saw the one view. I'm sure the judges looked at it a number of times. The criteria of a horse being lapped. If this is a stake race last night, I might have inquired about it myself. But again, it's judge's discretion when it comes to lapped on. There's that fine area where, was he right on the bike wheel? Was he just close? That gray area is the judge's discretion. They felt that he wasn't lapped on. So only White Tiger was placed up, and Locatelli was not. But I thought he raced well, and I'm sure off that confidence, both the horse and Chris Christopher will be a lot more aggressive next week. Where did we go here? I was going to say, that isn't the lineup. Resolute Bay made the break. You saw that. White Tiger raced good, but did scope full of mucus. So anytime you can still win a race and scope terribly, it's pretty impressive. But he's always been an impressive horse when he's on his game. So Tiger went over $500,000 last night. So congratulations on my partners on that. Closing in on that $100,000 mark. We've had a great year. I've said that a number of times about a number of horses this year. Very close at closing in on that number also. And then Carter Michael Dio, both James and Dominic didn't really want to comment too much other than to say the track was terrible. So he does wear flip-flops. The track was terrible. The track was terrible. I can't do much about that. It's not like James said he was on a line a little bit or he's running in a little bit. No, he didn't say anything. He just said the track was terrible. 4 words. That is it. And I have to take it for what it is. So that was a takeaway on last night. That was a little bit of controversy on a number of fronts last night. But you know what? That's racing. Tempers get heated in sports sometimes, and I'm sure two things. One, cooler heads will prevail for the most part, and hopefully every time thereafter. And secondly, I'm sure it'll be hashed out at the judges' level with young Mr. McDonald. Happy with the way the horses are going into this week. Happy about the way the horses were on the weekend. That goes without saying. And excited, one, to get away with my family. Haven't really seen my family that much this year, aside from, James. I saw Mark this weekend. He can't come, actually. But Curtis, always nice to hang out with my family and my friends. So this should be a lot of fun. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I will talk to you all very soon. We're heading through the car wash.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. And we'll talk to you all very soon. Have a wonderful day. And as I said, please don't hesitate to message me if you have any questions or comments. I'm still around. Before I go to bed, I'll check my emails. And when I get up in the morning, I'll check my emails. That's just how I am. Take care.